Hello and welcome back to The History Freak. I'm recording this video on the 9th of September 2022, the day after the death of Queen Elizabeth II, the longest serving monarch in British history. She sat on the throne for 70 wonderful years, and was there through both good and bad times, a constant in the life of the British people and a true example to us all. This video is not a deep dive into her life like I would often do with my videos, but more a chance just to talk about my feelings about this great woman, and I hope for those who watch to share their thoughts and memories of this wonderful queen. It's extremely shocking for myself, and I can feel even in these few short hours the grief of the whole country and indeed the world. Always a hard-working woman, she took her role very seriously. In fact, just days before her death, she was still working, meeting our new Prime Minister. Elizabeth was born in April 1926. Her grandfather was King George V. Her father would become King George VI after the abdication of her uncle Edward VIII. This meant she went from a young person not expected to become queen to the direct heir. When her beloved father died in 1952, she became the first woman to sit on the throne since Queen Victoria. Throughout her life, the growth of technology and the media was something that was used very effectively by the Queen to reach out and be seen by the people. Her coronation was televised and seen by millions of Britons and the rest of the world. While still only a child, she showed what an inspiration she could be when she appeared on the radio during the war, giving words of comfort and support to children evacuated from their homes. Every year on Christmas Day at 3 o'clock, we would get the Queen's speech on television. I remember well how important these speeches were, particularly with my own grandmother, who no matter what was happening on Christmas Day would pause it all and sit down and watch. These speeches were important to her and millions of other Brits. In recent years, we've seen really fun ways the media and the Queen work together to entertain the world. At the 2012 Olympics, we were all amused seeing her interacting with James Bond, and more recently in the Jubilee celebrations, she took tea with the legendary fictional character Paddington Bear. Duty was always of the highest priority to the Queen. She worked hard to protect the reputation of the royal family. One thing that really impressed us all was how hard she worked. She did so much charity work. She also travelled all over the world, visiting countries in the Commonwealth, where she was of course the head of state, and countries outside of it. In fact, she visited over 100 countries in her life, and she became the first British monarch to visit some countries such as China. Wherever she went, you could expect a big and excited reaction from the people, no matter where in the world it was. People couldn't wait to see her and wave their flags in welcome. While she didn't directly get involved in politics, she certainly kept herself informed of what was happening in Britain, with regular meetings with the Prime Minister of the time, which were an opportunity for her to give her views, which would have been very important to her. Family was also a huge part of her life. As a child, she was close to her parents, sister and grandparents. She had 4 children. The oldest will now of course become King Charles III, and I wish him the very best in this role. I have heard people say in the past that they would hope the monarchy would pass on to William after the Queen's death, but while I really do like William, I do want to see Charles as king in the role he has been destined for since birth and waited over 70 years to fulfill. How the country and the world will move on from this is really hard to predict. Without the Queen, the monarchy will feel very different. She had a way of making everyone feel good, no matter young or old, no matter what background someone came from. And she meant so much to the people, as is reflected when she made appearances. People would wait all day for a chance to see her, and maybe wave their flags from the crowd, waiting for the famous royal wave. This really is history happening right now. As for many people, including myself, she's the only monarch I have seen in my lifetime. The coming days will be a time of mourning and sadness. But despite the grief, I hope people can find the strength in this time and take inspiration from the way the Queen lived her life. we will always have the great memories. And I truly hope the monarchy, the institution she believed in so much, will remain strong.